All right, we're recording on all fronts, which is cool because I only had to hit record twice.
Yeah. Are we the right
Oh,
way?
they use papyrus. Yeah, no, you're fine. Times New Roman is no longer the font.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
it's you know how we always grew up seeing like something professional as Times New Roman?
Yeah.
It's not that anymore.
What is it?
I don't know what to do with this.
Oh,
I was just kind of fidgeting with
it. It's
it.
like Calibri?
No, it's like some new...
Helvetica?
No, it's like a font I've never heard
Futura?
of. No.
Cool Vetica?
No, it's like legitimately
Canvas
a new
Sans?
font. Maybe. Good morning, Marco Island. This is the Good Morning Marco podcast, the first, best, and only podcast on Marco Island. And happy Memorial Day. I'm your host, Jordan Crayley.
And I'm Ryan Sullivan. And today, Jordan, where ooh,
I wish I was them.
where we at?
Well, if you are listening on our audio platforms and can't read the sign we're standing next to, we're at Collier-Seminole State Park.
Collier-Seminole State Park. For a actual podcast style episode, this is the furthest out we've traveled. Because Everglades Seafood Festival
was like a
vlog style episode, so that don't fully count. But this is I really love this place. I actually have an annual pass that should probably be expiring by the time this episode goes out. I have an annual pass for all the state parks in Florida. This is the closest one to Marco. It's only like what, a 20-minute drive?
20 minutes, yeah. If you take San Marco all the way over.
Yeah. So it's literally, you know where the San Marco, you go off the island and it meets with 41. You turn right onto 41 and it's like immediate. Almost immediate.
Yeah, you can't even really get fully to the speed limit or else you pass it.
Yeah. And then there's also a couple of trails around here as well, which we'll explore some of that. But before we get going much, we've got a sponsor for today's episode. So let's take it to, actually, this will be past Ryan, more likely than not.
This will be past Ryan.
We'll have past Ryan or past Jordan, who knows at this point, to tell you about today's sponsor. This episode of Good Morning Marco is brought to you by Tyler Buchan of the Golf Group. Located right here on Marco Island, they're your go-to experts for luxury living on Marco Island and beyond. Whether you're looking for a waterfront home with golf access, a condo with stunning beach views, or a private retreat down on Hideaway Beach, Tyler and his team will guide you to your home. Visit thegolfgroup.com to start your search today, or call 239-420-1099. Once again, that number is 239-420-1099. Go to thegolfgroup.com to find out more. Thank you so much to Tyler and his team for sponsoring this episode of Good Morning Marco.
Neat stuff right there. Make sure you guys keep checking in with all those peeps.
Wow. Thank you, past and future and ever present. 4D
this
Jordan.
Is reminding me of the Christmas Carol.
What?
Of A Christmas Carol.
Why? Oh, yes. Okay, Grandpa Has Slippery Shoes On. I completely forgot that you were in that show, and the only reason why I remembered is because I am hot off the tails of editing the April Fool's Day episode. That will tell you when it is in real time. All right, so it actually feels like summer right now, which is pretty cool, a little. The one good thing is there's no mosquitoes yet. There will be some mosquitoes coming up later on.
Here's your mosquito weather forecast. Yeah. This is what it sounds like. There'll be
some isolated clouds of mosquitoes coming. I feel like I'm standing in front.
I know. I want
to reference to the screen. Now. Well, because it's really nice. This is you've seen this in other episodes, but this is the first time that we've actually recorded an episode like this, where not technically true. This is the first time we've done it correctly, doing an episode like this, where we've had the lavalier mics connected to the nice cameras, and it feels different. It feels very different. Very different. So we're actually going to travel to a couple of different locations here. Is there anything that you want to say while we're standing here in front of this sign, just this introductory portion of the podcast?
Well, just as any other natural thing, you definitely want to leave it better than you found it. So that's going to be our goal today, as well as recording this episode. So
my goal is to make it look as bad as possible and spy versus spy style antics while Jordan tries to clean up my mess.
I don't know what that means, but I guess.
And I'm gonna kick holes in grass, and I'm gonna set forest fires and stuff. I'm a menace to society. I'll probably cut that out. Anyway.
So we're gonna kick it this way.
Woo! Big wheel. Look at this. This is cool. National Historic Mechanical Engineering Landmark. Bay City Walking Dredge, 1924. I'm just going to read this. This is good. This walking dredge, built by the Michigan City Dredge Works, is the earliest known survivor of its type, designed for use over swampy terrain where wheeled or tracked vehicles would bog down. The middle movable shoes were lowered to take some of the weight off the corner shoes. The frame then was pulled forward about 10 feet using both an onboard winch and the shovel bucket and lowered back onto the corner shoes. Okay. So, Jordan, where are we at now?
We are at the Bay City Walking Dredge.
So, the Bay City Walking Dredge was built in 1924. And then was used in 1927 through 1928 by Baron Collier of Collier County fame. Not Collier Boulevard, two different people. Collier Boulevard, believe it or not, was W.D. Collier. Collier County is Baron G. Collier. Baron G. Collier is the man who built the Tamiami Trail, otherwise known as US 41. Now, Tamiami, why is it called Tamiami? Tampa, Miami. It is the first road ever to connect Tampa and Miami.
I never thought that it was just squished together.
Same as Mackle, Elcom Circle is just Mackle spelled backwards. A lot of people don't realize that, but some people do. And most people, whenever you say a lot of people don't realize that, they say people are dumb, but no, I didn't realize until I was like 14. And I'm not dumb.
That's one fun fact that I love to tell people on the island. They'll be like, oh, where is something? And then I'll tell them, and I'll be like, oh, and by the way, did you know this? And they're like, oh.
Oh, it's so much fun. So much fun.
It's...
But this is a piece of Florida history unlike any other. This thing is massive as well.
Huge.
And it's just a nice little thing to explore. I don't really think there's all that much to say about it.
It's crazy to think that a machine like this, which at its time was legitimately the best you could get.
Right.
Like now we look at this and we go, oh my God, how would that even work? How do you use that giant thing?
It feels extremely antiquated sitting here, but this thing would move. It's called a walking dredge. It has these shoes that it would move from the corner shoes to the middle shoes to evenly depress the weight, and it goes, and there's a bucket over in the front that is basically just scooping up the boggy marshland, because of course it's really difficult to do anything in a swamp. There's just so much water and mud, muck, mangroves, and now say what you will about the environmental impacts of doing all that, but it was 1928, so give him a little bit of credit. It was 103 years ago.
Yeah, and until seeing this, you probably didn't think about that every time you drive back and forth.
Yeah.
But it's crazy to think that this machine, like literally this one right here, that we can touch, and you can see all of its like embellishments and stuff like that. This worked 18 hours a day to build that.
Worked 18 hours a day?
18 hours a day.
I didn't remember that from reading all the signs. That's good.
It says it right big
Does
right
it?
there.
Cool.
I'm like, thank God I can see those signs.
Which this is also the oldest. This is also the oldest of its kind. There were older ones, but none of them are surviving. This is the oldest surviving of any walking dredge of this caliber still left.
Yeah, this one experienced Hurricane Andrew?
Hurricane Andrew,
and is still perfectly fine.
Yeah, so back in 93, 98? Was it 98 or 93? I can't read that far.
It was in 92.
92? This board was put here in 93. That's what I was confused about. Anyway.
But coming here, you know, like, I mean, even if you're kind of like, this is whatever, listening to you talk about it, there's so many things to read and witness here. Like, I mean, you can't even see the stuff behind the camera, but...
It's just trees, by the way. You actually can see the stuff behind the camera because we're going to cut to the wide shot.
I forgot.
Yeah. Hi, guys.
Hey. But, like, there's so much, you know? I mean, obviously there's more history boards that way. Oh my God, which by the way, there's more on the back side.
Is there more on the back too? Goodness.
There was more on the back.
So if you want to learn about that, we're not going to go and read it. You can come here yourself. It's like $2 to $5 to get in here.
Yeah, and they take card.
Yeah, they do.
So Ryan, Where are we?
We are now at the Baron G. Collier Memorial. So this was erected in 1941. I believe it was January 1st, 1941. Yep, January 1st, 1941. So some interesting things about this. Jordan, what was the first thing that I noticed when I went up to the memorial?
So...
Or if you want to call something else out, you can go ahead and call that out.
Oh, no.
Because there were two significant things to be called out.
I'll start with when you first walk up to it. So the sign over there says that it turned into a state park in 1944.
Right. And then there's a little sign right here that looks significantly older that says that it turned into a state park in 1947. So, the year, not important, but get your facts straight, guys, number one. Number two, what initially happened.
Park.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
for a state park.
Now, maybe that's why they're not a national park. So Baron Collier initially wanted Collier-Seminole State Park to be a national park. And of course, it wasn't called Collier-Seminole State Park back then. What he wanted it to be called was Lincoln Lee National Park. Now, two things about that. Lincoln, leader of the Union. Lee, leader of the Confederacy. Interesting choice there. I don't really know what this specific area has to do with the Civil War. None, actually. If anything, you do have some families who, the first four families that were living on Marco prior to the Colliers, not Baron Collier's family, but the other Colliers. Why are there so many Colliers? It's so weird, because I don't know.
Why did they all come to Collier County?
Which is weird. Yeah, so the other Collier family, when they first discovered Marco, there were four black families living on Marco Island, which they were runaway slaves that went as deep south as they could go in order to not get sent back because of the laws at the time, which, like everything that happened with Frederick Douglass, you could actually get sent back to your previous plantation that you were being held at. So instead of making the several thousand mile journey by foot through the Underground Railroad and stuff, some chose to head south and to hedge their bets with the elements. And there were four families that had done that and were living on the island. That is the closest to Civil War era history on the island. Also, W.D. Collier, not this Collier, the other one, has a Confederate Medal of Honor that is still sitting on his grave, which is at the Marco Island Cemetery.
Wow,
it's very
that's
interesting.
Cool.
So then what was the other thing that I noticed initially?
So I'm going to assume that this guy's in between us.
Yes.
Maybe he's not.
He is on the wide, I think.
This guy right here looks to be what, bronze?
Yeah, it looks like bronze,
Metal?
maybe brass, if you will.
Yeah. It's plastic.
It's plaster, maybe. Plaster Paris.
It is in the
paper mache.
plast and not in the metals.
Yeah, it is not an ick, or it's either an ick or an not an or an but an ick and an If you knock on this fella's head right here, it's hollow, which I think is wrong. This guy was very smart. He was the person who decided, it's like, you know, wouldn't it be nice if I could drive from Tampa to Miami in 4 hours?
Yeah.
It is pretty nice that we can do that. So thank you, Baron G. Collier. I'm sorry that the people running your state park decided to make your head out of plaster.
Well, you know what's crazy is that I'm sure to get that done, you got to be pretty hard-headed.
What if we just cut the podcast right there?
Goodbye. Good night, Marco.
Good evening, Everglades. Good night, Naples. And good morning, Marco. Let's see. Anything else that needs to be said about Baron G. Collier or this specific area?
Well, this specific area, because I'm pretty sure we're going to go over to our next spot and not like every single place. I will say that if you go down this way, there's like a little kayak launch, which is really nice. Over there has some tarpons and some snook I've definitely seen. Yancey and I go fish over there. You're allowed to fish it. one time we were over there and there was a poor little alligator that was like on the side.
Really?
And it was just sick and it was slowly dying. And we told one of like the park people and they were just like, yeah, he's been there a couple days. And I was like, I feel like you do something about that.
That's insane.
Like, I don't know. Like, maybe you don't, but I don't know. It was so sad. I haven't seen him. I think he died. R.I.P. But, Ryan,
that was a crazy... What?
What appears to be that way?
I have no idea.
Oh, I was going to say it looks like a trail.
It could be. There are a couple of trails in here. There's Royal Palm Hammock Trail, which is actually Collier's big thing about planting in here is he had, how many acres was it that he had? Like 2,100 acres?
I think so.
No, it had to be more than that. He had a lot of land.
I think he acquired 21,000 more from what he originally had, is what the sign said.
It's going to say, it might even be
It could be wrong.
acres. It might even be 1 million acres. I don't know. It's going to be flashing on the screen right now. I have months to edit this, so that's okay. But, oh wow, it's starting to get hot out today. It's a beautiful day, though.
It is.
I love the trees, the nice cumulus, some cumulonimbus off in the distance. It feels like summer already.
It really does. And right now, we're still in spring.
Yeah. The vernal equinox was not that long ago. But one thing that's really nice about this park, you've got this nice big open area right here, sans two royal palms directly in the middle. So you could have some nice times over here. There's a great area for picnicking. And this memorial, now we were dogging it for the plaster of head, the plaster bust, if you will. But the rest of it, it's a very nice.
It's really nice. Here. It's a nice touch. It's one of the first things you see when you're driving in. Which
it has staying power, I would say.
Staying power?
Like in your mind, it has staying power in your mind.
Staying power. I thought you said staying power, like
not staying power. No, not like you need a pressure washer.
Staying. Staying.
Staying, like staying alive. Staying power. Yeah. Anyway. I'm just thinking if there's anything else that needs to be said.
Do you know where his actual grave is?
I don't know. We could be sitting right in front of it.
Oh.
There's a large possibility because I mean this looks a lot like a grave. I feel like it would, because it's got the day he was born, the day that he was died, and then a little epitaph on the tomb as well. So it's very likely that he's buried right here. I actually don't know. Which we have the power of the internet.
We do have the power of the internet.
Oh no, we don't.
Oh yeah. So if you come here, make sure you tell all your loved ones you're here.
Yeah,
so
that's
they don't
something
hear
to
from
think
you.
about as well. Also, there are bears.
Really?
Yeah, and panthers.
Oh my.
Panthers and bobcats and bears.
And alligators.
I thought you were going to say, oh my. Oh yeah, panthers and gators and bears.
Oh my.
Panthers and gators and bears.
Oh my.
Panthers and gators and bears.
Oh my.
We could actually make that into a reel. That would be a fun reel.
I don't know how it is in the summer, but there are like a lot of natural little, well, that little guy right here is about to prove my point. Like flowers, weed flowers kind of things. Just look out for wasps and bees. You know, if you are allergic, please bring something that...
Oh, yeah. So whenever I come out here during the summer, I will bring my deep woods off with 40% DEET. That is really the only way to actually survive without being carried away. Out here, out on Marsh Trail, there's... you know, we should probably go stop on our way out at the 3-mile biking trail that's right to the west of us currently. Oh. It's directly west of the Gator Crossing. I think that's the best thing to call it, the San Marco 41 crossroads. There's a nice trail out there.
Good hot dog.
Do they?
Yeah, I like that place.
Back when it was called the Iron Rhino, they had a very good hot dog as well. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine.
Cash only.
Are they cash only?
Cash only. They have an ATM in there, so it's chill, but...
Interesting. That is a very good thing to mention on this episode, since that is the closest food to here. Mm-hmm. There are no food vendors in here, by the way. So make sure that you're... I
feel like it'd be cool if, like, somehow, like, on the birthday of Collier or something, if... there was like a little thing that happened
March 23rd, 1973, which is exactly 10 days after the day that he died. Not that he was born 10 days before he died, but his he died on March 13th, 1939.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it would be cool
But
to
he
have
was
like a
kinda
vendor
young.
thing over here. Like this is a nice little field you could do something with to like kind of
It really
celebrate.
is. I feel like you could have some sort of mini festival out here as well. This is
Yeah,
a
of course.
really nice area. This even, I wonder if there could be some sort of wildlife conservation benefit concert out here. That
That'd
would
be
be cool.
cool.
Because
You know?
this would be a perfect place to put a stage right here.
Yeah.
And then that would be a perfect spot to have audience. Because, I mean, it's almost begging for it.
Yeah. It does like, I feel like it needs something to attract people here. I feel like even a lot of locals don't realize that it's here.
Right. Yeah, the first time I ever came out here was this summer. When I was on my little national park
Yeah.
and trail walking kick. When I was making some reels on TikTok, which that TikTok might be a thing of the past by the time this uploads.
Yeah.
Or it might
R.I.P.
come back
TikTok.
again.
But it is really cool out here. Like they do like moonlight canoe tours,
Oh, really?
which Yancey and I were thinking of doing it when the eclipse happened.
Oh, that would be fun.
But I don't think they did it that night. They do it like only during the full moon, I think.
Oh, that would still be really cool.
It would be super cool.
Yeah, the kayaking, they have kayak rentals here as well, which is really nice. So you don't have to haul anything with you, because those of us with sedans don't have roof racks. I'm actually thinking about getting a roof rack for my car, just because. And yeah, it's.
You should get a roof rack, and then we'll get a giant surfboard that says "Good Morning Marco," and you just carry it around.
That'd be funny. Good Morning Marco boogie boards. That'd be fun.
That would be fun. Have you ever seen a black bee with one yellow stripe?
Have I ever seen a black bee with one yellow stripe?
Yeah.
Jordan, I can't hopefully see that far.
Oh, well. I actually think I see two of them. Maybe those are wasps. Oh, they were getting into it for a second.
So the royal palms are actually a very rare tree. They're only really found in Southwest Florida. Well, not just Southwest Florida, but they're not. They require a lot of water, number one, which makes me surprised. I don't see any irrigation around here generally, but where they naturally grow is right in this area here, which is why we see so many royal palms. Because usually when you're out in the natures, like down on Marsh Trail and stuff like that, most of the palm trees you're seeing are the sable palms, which those two right there are the sable palms. This is a sable palm, and then this is a royal palm, for those who are unawares.
I love when I'm driving from Marco to Miami, and like you have all the Everglades around you, but it kind of looks like it's like a sea of grass, but then you see little islands of the palm trees, you know what I mean? Those are always so cool.
Because it's also really cool because I think Marco is so manicured, and more so Naples is extremely manicured, but Marco and Naples are very well manicured, and you don't really see the wild aspects of it. Because I mean, once we get outside of this field here, it's all just completely natural. It's not like this was planted by anybody. It was just here. And it will continue to be here. And it has been and will be, which is really cool.
That should be on our t-shirt.
Huh?
Good morning, Marco. It has been and will be.
But there's just we've got cypress trees, you've got a ton of wildlife in here as well. You are likely to run into raccoons, like to run into herons, of course alligators. And there's a couple other dotted here and there. I have seen gators in here before, just like you have as well. And I'm trying to think if I've had any animal encounters other than like doves. I don't think I have.
I haven't had any like animal encounters. I mean,
I definitely felt like when I was on the nature loop trail, I definitely felt like I was being followed by some sort of bear. I think that was just my mind playing tricks on me, but like I could have, in the moment that I smelled like urine on the trail, I'm like, now's the time to leave. Because I was like, probably just in my best interest.
Yeah, something just marked its territory.
to vamoose, if you will.
But it is really nice and relaxing to just kind of sit out here.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying
Like
this.
the breeze, you know, you're hearing all the birds and everything from afar.
Because you've also got, this is a great place for like family barbecues and outings and stuff like that, especially it being Memorial Day. Over to the right of us right now, there's the little kayak launch. There's also a little like park down there as well. Not just, you know, the state park, but like a playground, if you will.
Yeah, so like not like our Castaways episode.
It's a place to play,
Yes.
not a place to work out.
I went there yesterday and saw somebody working out there.
Nice. I had several people come up to me right after that episode came out and say, it's like, oh yeah, we went there, we tried it, we loved it. It's like, thanks for the episode. So thank you everybody for watching. Once again. Yeah, no, there's grill pits over there, so it's a great place to, you don't have to haul stuff with you. Of course, there's no facilities outside of restrooms and the grills, so the restrooms are very dotted, and I believe there is an actual like restroom building over there with a water fountain, but the water fountain
yes.
kind of is shoddy if it's going to work or not, just because it's very old.
Well, we've got one more stop.
What is our last stop?
It's so it's gonna be that way.
Oh.
And it is
Oh, the house.
Yes.
The house. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm excited for this. So this is technically our final location. We will be going outside to sort of finish off the episode, to say goodbye and all that. But
Yeah, so you guys can see the outside of where we are. What are we in?
we're at the Block House. So the Block House was built by County Commissioner Copeland of Copeland Township, I believe, out in the Everglades. So Copeland built this block house to mimic the style of the Third Seminole War blockhouses, and this is the ground floor of actually the Rangers' home here on the state park property. So we can actually hear right above us, we heard some radio chatter and we hear the guys talking up there a little bit. But down here we've got nice like stone walls and all real nice hardwood floor. And there's a great breeze.
There is a great breeze. There's a bunch of little like signs talking about Baron Collier's Impossible Dream, the mangrove forest, alligators, royal palms, all this stuff.
Yeah, there's a ton more history all about Baron Collier that we didn't discuss in this episode that you definitely should read when you come here. There's a whole bunch about let's see. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff in here.
You're like, wait a second.
Well, no, I can't read actually. So
You can't see?
No, I can't see. I
that's
can
crazy.
only read the top. I can only see Baron Collier's Impossible Dream. The Dream
If I
of
take my
Jones.
glasses off, I can maybe squint and read the top line, but nothing else.
Why do your glasses make you see worse?
When I take them off, I said.
Oh, okay.
But when I put them on, I can see them.
Okay, well,
can
I
see
have
it.
cataracts, so like I just can't see anything, like, period.
So anyway.
Yeah, it sucks. So maybe by now there'll be a GoFundMe set up. If there is, it's in the description. With that being said, there's also a nice little like butterfly garden outside, which is really cool. I just final thoughts, I guess, on the park. What are some other things to think about?
So for it being a fairly quick drive from Marco, I would say even if you don't have like plans for a weekend, it would be definitely really cool to come camp here.
Yeah.
It's definitely an experience. I mean, definitely bring bug spray because once it hits sunset, oof.
Well, sunset, the park is closed unless you are camping here. So that is something to remember. The park opens at 8 a.m. and then closes at sunset. So this would probably be a great morning stop to sort of get out here before it gets muggy, because, you know, that humidity, once it's summertime now, so it's going to be hitting different. So it's definitely a nice place to go, and you can bring the whole family here. Now, if you're looking at this and you're from out of town, this is a great place to stop. I also saw a ton of videos of people who were describing what the camping is like here, and people love the camping here. Now, personally, I've never camped here because I have a house here. So what do you expect me to do here? All right. So
it looks very easy and convenient to be able to camp here. I'm pretty sure you're able to bring your RVs here, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you know, Marco, that's definitely like a no-no. I don't know where you put an RV on Marco.
Yeah, no, you have to get a special permit to be able to park it for longer than 24 hours in your front. There's noises. Movement. It's fun.
Over. But it's really nice to escape the heat. Honestly, this has a nice. They're moving the wheelie chair.
It feels like we're hiding down here, even though we are perfectly well and allowed.
Yeah, you're allowed to be down here.
Yeah, so
I've never heard people up there before, though.
Really?
Really.
This is actually my first time coming in here because last time I was here it was closed.
Oh wow. Really?
Yeah, no, it was closed. So this is my first time ever coming in here. Because this is only my second time being here, I think. Third time being here.
Yeah, I think this is also my third time.
Yeah.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. It was also raining the second time I was here, so I didn't spend very long.
Oh really? No. I mean, be on the lookout for snakes.
Oh yeah, so walking over here, remember earlier how I said, it's like, Jordan, you ever have any run-ins with the wildlife? Well, Jordan, I reiterate, you ever have any run-ins with the wildlife?
I now have, yes. Who would have thought changing locations would change my answer? It was just a little black racer, but you know, with the heat and everything, more of them are going to be out. You know, they're sunbathing, doing their thing.
Yeah.
It's their park too.
Yeah. Take only pictures and leave only footprints. Only you can prevent forest fires. Quote, Smokey the Bear. That's a lovely picnic basket, boo-boo. Quote, Yogi Bear. We love poopin', quote, the Charmin Bears.
But if you guys are interested on kind of being out in nature more this summer, seeing what maybe locally this area has to offer, or for people out of town, what this weird marsh swamp area has to offer in general. This is just the first stop out of many on the way further into the Everglades if you're going to Everglades City or on the way to Miami. Like there's probably at least 100 stops.
Oh yeah, because I mean, when it comes to wildlife conservation areas, we'll go like just north of Marco and like that surrounding area there, you've got Rookery Bay, which we've talked about several times now. Rookery Bay Estuary Preserve, and then right here you've got Collier-Seminole State Park. To the north of the state park, you've got the Picayune Strand State Forest, which if you want to read a little bit about Picayune Strand, you can buy my book on my website. Also, to the east of that, you've got Fakahatchee Strand, and then south of Fakahatchee Strand State Forest, you've got the 10,000 Islands Critical Wildlife Refuge, and then further east of that, you've got the Everglades National Park. So just in this area, within the span of, it's just like 40 minutes total driving from Rookery Bay to get to the Everglades, you've got all these different places here, different places to explore. There's not just, we're not even going to the trails here. The trails are great as well. You can really get down deep into the wild here. Like, I'm serious.
I don't know why I thought you were going to say down and dirty.
Down deep and dirty here at Collier-Seminole State Park. Because, I mean, really, if you think about it, so I bring this up in my book, where
Be careful.
Florida is so interesting because we are halfway between urban and rural. It almost feels like it's. I put some mansions and crack dens, and you've got the hoi polloi and all the nice areas of the beachfront and swamp, and it's just a really interesting dichotomy when you get out just even 20 minutes east. because you go west and you hit the water, and the water, you've got all the beachfront properties, everything's really nice, everything's really opulent. We've seen a ton of that on this podcast about how nice things can be really when you get out there, especially on our Things to Do episode and stuff like that, because Marco's a really, like I said earlier, very well manicured place. This is a lot more wild and out there. The closest thing we have to that on Marco is Ottermount, and that's what, 712 feet?
Yeah.
Was it? So it's really nice getting out here and being like actually connected with nature, because we don't really realize it, but we're incredibly lucky to be as close to it as we are. Because Florida is still one of the more wild states. It's being developed and it's being built out and all that. And I know there's the huge like Keep Florida Wild movement right now, but enjoy it while it's still here. Like there's tons of stuff to do that just, even if you don't have some sort of activity, even if you're not going out here to kayak, and just coming out here to walk around, just to explore, just to see a little bit about what there is this far out, it's a really, really nice experience. We do take it for granted as locals, because I mean, at this point, season is far over, and the only people visiting are going to be people on summer break. So now that also kids are out of school, you've got time to spend with them. This is one of the perfect places to go. There's plenty of others, and we'll continue exploring them over the course of however long we're doing this podcast. I imagine quite some time. So now,
of course,
yeah. So there's
so many things to do. So like, even if it's summer, go check out our spring break video about things to do on Marco.
Yeah, no, that's
like
still,
all of that is now available for the locals.
Yeah, it's still relevant.
Yeah. So.
Also, go back and look at our Briggs Boardwalk episode too, because that is something very similar to here, but it's just a little bit closer to Marco. It's just only about 10 minutes away. And then also you're closer to Naples as well, which is very cool. But you get further out here. I spent a bit of time out in this area when I was writing Pekin Strand, because I needed to sort of be somewhere for that type of story. I needed to be out in the elements for it. I needed to be alone with the world, and if that's what you're looking for, this is a great place for it too.
Of course.
This episode of Good Morning Marco is brought to you by Tyler Buchan of the Golf Group. Located right here on Marco Island, they're your go-to experts for luxury living on Marco Island and beyond. Whether you're looking for a waterfront home with golf access, a condo with stunning beach views, or a private retreat down on Hideaway Beach, Tyler and his team will guide you to your home. Visit thegolfgroup.com to start your search today, or call 239-420-1099. Once again, that number is 239-420-1099. Go to thegolfgroup.com to find out more. Thank you so much to Tyler and his team for sponsoring this episode of Good Morning Marco.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Good Morning Marco. You can, of course, go online to goodmorningmarco.com to catch up with all that we're doing, see all of our social media, and you can also find some brand new merch there coming very, very soon. You can find Jordan at her website, currentcreationsfl.com, or you can find her at jdcraley03 on Instagram. You can also find me at Real Ryan Sullivan, that's RealRyanSullivan, or go straight to my website, ryanmsullivan.com, to catch up with all that I'm doing. Well, thank you so much for watching. It really does mean the most, and we will see you all in the next one. Bye.